Yeah, hey everybody, this is Ian from Mindful Marketplace, and as promised, we're going to do a really quick look at getting started with Circle. Circle is the community building software as a service, the app for launching a niche community around your course, around your mission, around your book, around your mentorship, your coaching community, whatever it is that you're offering in the world. You can build a circle for creating cohorts and community around anything that you can imagine teaching or preaching or sharing with the world. So here's our community. Hopefully that comes up, and it does. And I just started actually. This is more obviously well fleshed out, but we're testing a different idea for something that I've been playing around with for a while, and I thought that I would show you exactly what this looks like from the standpoint of a fresh or kind of uh, a starter circle where there's no content, there's no anything set up, so you can see exactly what the steps are when you're actually launching your community. So as you can see, I think you can see at the bottom here, your trial ends in 14 days. All right, so I actually just signed up for a a new account so that I could walk you through this. So this is actually the free trial, which is a great way of testing all this stuff out for yourself. But this actually is a completely content-free community. There's nothing here yet. So the first thing we're going to do is create a space, and this is the first kind of screen that you're going to have once you sign up for the trial. And let's call this a welcome space, and you can add a like whatever visual representation you think is appropriate, whether they're emojis or something else, icons. But we don't want to really mess around with any of that stuff for now. We're just going to show you the initial steps. So hide from logged out users. This allows you to hide this space from anyone who's not a member. So if I were to toggle this on, people wouldn't see this space unless they were part of our community. Hide from featured areas. This hides this space from the email digest that goes out. I believe it also hides it from other featured areas like the home curated content stream, which we're not quite up to yet, so we're not going to cover that yet. You can make this a private space completely, which essentially just gates or restricts access to this space by virtue of folks will need an invite from you as the administrator to actually access this space. Here you can add members, you can invite members, etc. Um, Members in this space group will be added to this space by default. That just lets you know that if people are in a space group, which is separate from a space, so a space group is a collection of spaces, and if someone's a member of a larger space group, they automatically would get added to each individual space that nests within the larger space group if you toggle this on. We're not going to do that. We're just going to continue to cover the initial options. Here are the different views. You have post view, list view, and card view. Here are the visible tabs, which is by default set to both posts and members. This means that these are the tabs that will be visible within the group itself. So you'll be able to see, or the space itself, you'll be able to see both the members and the posts. And here are some of the other things that you can experiment with, so you can prevent members from creating posts, which kind of turns your community into a very one-directional stream. You're pushing content out, but people are not allowed to actually create content themselves. So generally this is not something you'd want to toggle on. There are some use cases where you might, if you're using your circle as a course LMS, like a course community where you're teaching and you don't want people creating lessons or something. Clearly that would be something that you would toggle on for maybe a collection of spaces, but I wouldn't toggle that on for your entire community, obviously, because then you don't have a community. Prevent members from adding others. If you don't want people adding other folks to the space, you would toggle this on. And and again, I don't want to go through all of these because some of these get a little bit sort of esoteric, where people now can't create posts with a title. If you toggle this on, you can't. You don't let your members create posts with images, etc., etc. And we're going to skip these other things like hide right sidebar. This would just turn this sidebar here within the space off, so there's no, obviously sidebar within the space. Again, these are not things that I usually screw with or mess around with. You just kind of leave those as they are. Here are the various options you have with respect to whether people are surfacing people, right? So people, not, let me restate that. So whether your space is surfacing the members, like a directory style space, this would just have lists of your, it would visually display your members, or whether you want posts. And there are situations where you'd want your members to be featured rather than posts. If you have a directory space, for an example, obviously you want the faces to show up in the space rather than the posts. And here's the way you can organize the post sorting. So new activity, popular, alphabetical, latest, oldest. That changes the chronology of the post settings. Default comment sort, again, same sort of thing, latest or oldest. Default member sort, latest or oldest. So do you want people who've been in your community for the longest time to be surfaced first, or the newest members to be surfaced first, etc., etc. Here, I think you can change the way pin post actually reads. So you could say read first rather than pinned. So that's what the label would reflect there. And now you have new post prompt, which is ask a question, voice an issue, or ask for feedback. This is just, as you can see here, the custom prompt for the new post page in this space. So how you're actually getting people to engage with your content, the cohort or your community. And now we're just going to create the space, and that's done, right? So there's the emoji, there's the welcome, and here's how you'd begin. All right, so in the next video, we're going to cover setting some of the site-wide settings, like setting code snippets. I'll show you some of the cool things you can do with the home page, and we'll do some other things as well that I think will illustrate some of the very cool and creative ways that you can customize your circle, and you can do some pretty cool things with, making this a community that feels more like your own rather than the default settings that ship with the software. All right, teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about Circle, you can send an email to ian@mindfulmarketplace.com. I'll probably post this on YouTube as well, so feel free to ask in the community comments if anything is unclear. All right, thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.